Hello friends, I'm meteorologist Zach Shields. Thanks for stopping by and checking out our Fox 7 Austin YouTube channel. We are in for a soggy, stormy weekend. We could see so much rain, especially for the first half of the weekend. The National Weather Service has gone ahead and placed much of central Texas under a flash flood watch that will begin Friday evening and last through Saturday. That includes every county, every city here in central Texas. So what does a flash flood watch mean? Conditions are favorable for flash flooding. We have a wet ground thanks to the rain earlier in the week and heavy rain in the forecast that could promote flooding, so plan ahead. If you hear flash flood warning, that means flooding is happening now and take immediate action to protect life and property. And all the ingredients are coming together for a heavy rain event, not only for us, but across much of Texas. We have the moisture and warmth flowing in off the Gulf that will bump up against this stalled front to our north and west. That will initiate the rising motion, and then this slow-moving upper low will take care of the rest. It will provide the extra lift and accelerate that vertical motion where the clouds have an easier opportunity and chance to grow up into showers and thunderstorms. And what really concerns me is that the steering flow in advance of that upper low is coming in from the southwest and will be parallel to that stalled front. And these storms could line up like train cars on a track and go over the same areas over and over and over, allowing those rain totals to really add up. For the rest of your Friday, just isolated showers and then becoming more widespread Saturday, Sunday, and still pretty good coverage of rain all the way through early next week. For the next 48 hours, all four computer weather models show some very high rain totals, on average 1 to 3 inches this weekend, with isolated areas getting 3 to 5 inches of rain. They're just having a tough time placing where the highest rain totals will be. So everybody should be on high alert for some localized flooding. And we're looking at inches of rain, according to the National Weather Service, from Brownsville all the way to Amarillo. Texas is going to be a rain magnet the next several days. And from Austin down to the south and west, including San Marcos, Blanco, Fredericksburg, you could pick up easily 4 to 5 inches of rain in the next 7 days, 3 to 4 over our eastern counties. If this works out, that is perfect placement by Mother Nature, because we have the worst of the drought in those locations south and west of Austin, severe to exceptional drought. So if you do see 1, 2, 3 inches of rain, the dry ground can soak it up. The creeks and streams are bone dry. But then if you get more than that, this is when we could have the runoff that could lead to some flash flooding. The ground is still very saturated from 3 to 5 inches of rain earlier in the week across our eastern counties. Interesting product from the LCRA.org website. The soil moisture, so where you see the green and blues, that's where the ground is saturated and pretty wet. Where you see the tan and orange colors, that's where the soil is still pretty dry out in the hill country. So you still desperately need the rain, but that may limit the flash flooding threat. The Weather Prediction Center is seeing the same thing, keeping the hill country under slight risk for flooding on Saturday, and then a moderate risk, a level 3 from Austin down to San Marcos, Luling, Bastrop, Giddings, and LaGrange. So we'll be on the lookout for some street flooding, low water crossing flooding, and a low to moderate risk for flash flooding. If you're going to do some camping or you live near a low-lying area, you have to pay close attention to the weather this weekend. River flooding will be on the low end. So the river flooding threat, or the flash flooding threat, I should say, is increasing, but the severe weather threat is decreasing, according to the Storm Prediction Center. They've downgraded much of central Texas to a marginal risk, a level 1. Only the hill country counties are under a slight risk. With those storms moving on in late tonight, we'll be on the lookout for small to moderate size hail, some brief gusty winds. But we believe the storm threats in order go like this: flooding, high winds, hail, then tornadoes. If we're going to see some hailers late tonight, it's going to happen out across the western hill country from San Saba to Mason. Pretty low risk for chunks of ice falling from the sky for the rest of us. I think when these storms come through, look out for some very strong winds, heavy rain, and lots of lightning. A moderate risk of some wind that could do some minor damage here in the Austin metro, a higher risk in the hill country. All right, buckle up and get ready for the wild weather ride as we time out when these storms will move into central Texas. Not during the day today or this evening. If you have some plans this evening, go ahead. Most of the storm action will happen out in West Texas in advance of a front. Eventually, that complex of storms will move into the hill country between midnight and 3 in the morning, and then crossing the I-35 corridor between 3 and 9, and then that wave goes away. This is why we're thinking it won't be raining all day on Saturday. It's going to be a morning event. Between noon and 5, we'll have a chance to dry out. The atmosphere will recharge, and then by Saturday evening, the next wave of rain moves on in. What concerns me, this wave could last from Saturday evening all the way through Sunday morning. So the highest probability of flooding rains will occur during that time frame. Not with the first wave of rain tonight, but the second wave Saturday night going into Sunday morning, and then slowly drying out for part 2 of Mother's Day. Here's what you can expect this weekend. Rounds of heavy rain and storms. The severe weather risk is low, and primarily for our friends over the Western Hill Country, where we're going to be on the lookout for small to moderate size hail and some very strong winds. Everybody should be on high alert for some localized flooding because we could be picking up 2 to 5 inches of rain this weekend. Keep that umbrella handy and stay weather aware. And thanks for checking out the Fox 7 Austin YouTube channel.